All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to God knows how many part of this video it is on FGO Tolovetrouble be translating. This is still part of the Nasu long interview. I'm doing it by segment of like 20 to 40 minutes just so y'all can not like lose your mind listening to this translation. Took a quick break and now we're starting again. The title or the theme of this is the quote-unquote the free free idea that the writers were able to have during the 1.5 segment, aka Epic of Remnants. So the interviewer asked, during 1.5, this was supposed to be a story outside of the main story, the quote-unquote a bundles of tales and storytelling. But it was so popular that each individual chapters got comicalized. It had grabbed quite the popularity, and its creation was well done. How did the 1.5 idea came into fruition? Nasu answers, 2016年の8月ぐらいに第1部が終わっても FGO はどうやら続くらしいということが分かりまして、ただすぐに第2部に入るには開発側でだけなくユーザーにとっても準備期間が必要だなと思い、第1と第2部をつなぐエピソードを作ることにしたんです。第1部の作成ではライター陣にこの章はこの時代をこの舞台にしてこのキャラを登場させて物語を作ってほしいと大まかな構成材の指示していて、僕の方で圧迫して監督することで全体に周囲を一貫を持たせることを思いました。でも 1.5 はメインストーリーから独立した話なので、名ライターの個性を存分に出して好きに書いてもらうことにしたんですよ。いわばらばシナリオ設計におけるガス抜きですね。それで自分の担当のキャラの武蔵が主人公の英雄7当番勝負が他のライターとの下にあった以上、各ライターのお任せという形になったのです。1.5 部ではサーバントと正体を伏せた状態。So essentially, how did 1.5 come into fruition? Nasu specifically goes in 2016, even in 2016 at August, I was told even after season 1 of FGO ends, apparently it was going to have a continuation. Surprise to me, but we just couldn't slap the user base to put into season 2 right off the bat. The development staffs were not ready, and simultaneously, user needed some preparation time, in my honest opinion. So we wanted to create a couple of episodes to bind to season 1 and 2 together, and that's where I started cooking, essentially creating the story. In season 1, the TLDR of how we individually created the story, that we told the writers that in this chapter, it's going to be this time at this location, and please utilize these characters to your disposal and create an entertaining story. It was a very vague and large and kind of gave quite the freedom to allow them to showcase the not freedom, excuse me, just kind of a very vague but defined requirements in order for the stories to be created. And with me on the director side, we were kind of gluing everything together to make the story make sense. However, 1.5 is definitely outside the main story zone. And so I definitely wanted individual writers who were in charge of the story to kind of go free, kind of show their personalities and their quirks, and kind of let them go all out and see what they wanted to create. In the scenario writer, we call this the pulling out the gas, or letting things loose, or taking a quick creating a gas leak so you don't explode. And so my character was Musashi, and the protagonist was in charge of this heroic spirit the 7-time battle shenanigans. And combined with the other writers, それで自分担当キャラの武蔵が主人公のエゴバットの他のライターとの合裁になった後以上、 Oh, okay. So essentially, Nasu created Musashi, and she wanted to make her a protagonist, and he kind of just gave that character to the writer of Shimosa and let the writer do whatever they wanted with her and with her. And so the interviewer asked, during 1.5, there was this interesting gimmick in order to learn the servant's true identity, the true name hidden gimmick. I remember that. And then Takeuchi goes, yes. It says, during season 1, we wanted to try to mimic or get close to as Fate as possible. We wanted to have the flavor of Fate still resigned into FGO. Even though that was technically our goal, there were many things that we weren't able to pull off very Fate-like. For instance, one of them was the true name hidden mechanic. Fate has many different entertaining parts and very exciting parts for sure. But one of the excitement parts was definitely understanding the 7 servants and their stories and their true revealing identity while you progress the story. That was definitely the big part of surprise and mysteries. And I kind of wanted to show FGO that excitement of unveiling a true name. And that's why we attempted to do the hidden name, true name hidden mechanic. And we added the system. But unfortunately, it didn't work out, or it didn't fit the criteria as much as we thought it could. And so it didn't become, or it just didn't stick to become the norm. That's all. 新名サーベント、新サーベントの新名を全部隠したら、その正体を追っていくので、物語の大きな部分が響かれてしまいますからね。それにせっかくピックアップ召喚登場しても、誰となりかねない。でも、竹内のやりたいこともわかるし、状況に満足せず、新しいものも組み込んでいきたいという思いもありました。それで1.5 限定で新名隠しを入刀したのです。So Nasu answers, I said, yeah, when introducing a new servant, hiding their entire true name, the story, unveiling who they really are will become part of the crucial to the storytelling as well, if we were to pull this off. And simultaneously, if we were to utilize the true name hidden mechanic so much, it's like, even if you get the character from a big raid up summoning, it's like, who are you? Because you don't know them. But I can still understand what Takeuchi wanted to do. I felt it and I get it. And yeah, even though at the current time it was it's not full satisfactory, but we wanted to implement something new to see if it sticked. And that is the reason why, just for 1.5 segment, we've introduced the true name hidden mechanic to see where it goes. Nasu はユーザーに新鮮なゲーム体験をしているため、たびたび我らの手を抜かずに考えるのをやめるなよとプレッシャーをかけるのですよ。ナスが立先にとして大小さまざまなアイデアを提案しやすい場を作っているから、大運スタッフからもいろいろな声が集まるのだと思います。Takeuchi goes, Nasu always constantly wants a fresh new game experience for the user base. And so sometimes he would always gives us this wording. You better not thinking of pulling any punches and take this shit seriously. And he gives us a pressure of the development team every so often. Nasu also comes up with many different ideas from large scale to small scales, and he creates an environmental area where all idea, big or small, is accepted, and suggesting it to people were a positive factor. And I think because of that, the type moon staff was able to voice out many different ideas and gather many different thought process. So NASA says FGO は10年前にローンチされたゲームではありますが、せめて発想だけは新しいものを追求しながら常にユーザーに驚きと充実感を与え続けたい。そしてシナリオライターとしてはストーリーヘリングでユーザーをワクワクさせ、ゲームを通して夢と希望を託したい。そのことを自分の中のテーマとして制作に挑んでいるのです。This is Nasu specifically says, in FGO 10 years ago, during the launch, if FGO is a 10-year-old launch game. However, we want our ideas and thought process and capabilities to be something to chase something new, fresh, and constantly want the user base to be surprised and fulfilled, and constantly try to attempt to appease those too much as we can. And as a scenario writer, I want to make sure that the storytelling is exciting and elusive and more entertaining, and want to give through gaming hopes and dreams. And that's what I want everybody to kind of share. そのことを自分の中で、yeah, that is constantly my theme of creating the games and the stories constantly when I'm going over these products. So the interviewer specifically asked, 新名隠しは定着構想しませんでしたが、その後も正体をかぶっていたサーバントの新名が妖怪という形で判明した。So it says the true name hidden, right? True name hidden gimmick didn't really stick too long, I've noticed as well. But later on, a servant that was disguising themselves to true name unveiled kind of surprise was quite the thrilling moment in my honest opinion. And Nasu goes, during season 2, chapter 6, aka Avalon Le Fay. You're talking about the part where Oberon reveals his true name. Everybody said we should definitely pull the gimmick of true name hidden shenanigans. It would be very entertaining and exciting. And so because of that, we wanted to hide that gimmick once more until the Pretender class was showcased for the very first time. オベロンの正体が判明したとき、非常に驚いたのを覚えてます。よもやボーティガンを名前をここで見ることになるとはと。It says when Oberon's true name got revealed, it was quite irregularly shocking. I remember that as a fact. The fact that his name is also included Vortigern into the name, it was so intriguing. And then Nasu answers, well, the name Vortigern is definitely a name within the FGO user base. Is a name to an FGO user base, right? The people that started FGO. They're probably stated, I'm in season 2, chapter 6. He came out of nowhere. Who is that? I think that's what a lot of people thought. It says, why on earth? After all, that name was only mentioned in Fate Stay Night Unlimited Bladeworks Blu-ray DVD top box special light novel Garden of Avalon. In order to read that, in order to figure out who Vortigern was in the first place. Because Vortigern was the last guardian of Britain, and the King Arthur's quote unquote previous life, right? During her during her quote unquote before her servant days. For Artoria, it was the hardest and the strongest enemy they've ever faced. I really wanted to involve this character into FGO somehow, some way, and I kind of hinted him in there in the Blu-ray box. But the fact that you're only able to read and read about the King Arthur versus Vortigern fight on the special high expensive Blu-ray DVD box was I felt bad, so I kind of also included that in LB6. Essentially, TLDR, the reason why Oberon has Vortigern name is because Nasu wanted to slide in Vortigern, and LB6 was just the perfect platform. And yeah, if you guys do not know, if you've read Unlimited Blade, if you have Unlimited Blade Works Blu-ray box, there was a special light novel created by Nasu that's called Garden of Avalon that kind of TLDR'd the story of Artoria of Fate Stay Night. So it was pretty cool. You can technically watch it on YouTube, I believe. If you type in Garden of Avalon audio log, I think that's what it is. And so he was cooking Vortigern from that moment somehow, some way. But it seems that LB6 was convenient enough to slide that in for him. That's about it for this segment. We got a couple more segments to go. I think we got like 3 more pages, so you better buckle up. Make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, if you got any questions, do let me know. More videos to come. I'll be streaming every day at 11 a.m. MST. All day, day. If you don't see it, make sure you follow me on Discord, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Kick, all that good stuff, baby. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.